What's good, YouTube? And welcome to some basic B content. When's the last time I did a top 10 on this channel? Even though they're my most viewed videos, I don't like them all that much, but I do like talking about cards, card prices, and what I think is pretty undervalued. Now, my number one question is, John, what card should I be getting right now? Trying to make free money, etc. That's not the point of this video. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know the future of card prices. I don't know what or when Konami is going to reprint, especially on some of these, but I will say I would have a playset of some of these cards, or at least one of other ones that you only need one of most of the time when it comes down to this list for the competitive seasons upcoming. I would just have access to these. And then the number 10 slot is Droll Lockbird. Now this is a format dependent hand trap, and when it rolls into formats, it tends to really spike in price. And what brought it down a lot in price is a rare reprint in Tactical Masters, but that is a short printed version of it, meaning Konami wants to cash back in again. So they probably have plans to reprint it, but they're likely are going to watch the price, see when there's a demand, and go from there, or do some high rarity version of it once again, which, you know, Droll Lock is a very nice card, but it got a collector rare recently, meaning it's probably off the radar for some time. People aren't going to want to open boxes of Tactical Masters just for this, especially knowing it's short, though. If it does go back up in price, they would see it as a maybe bonus to try to get alongside Labyrinth, etc. But those boxes are down in price, meaning people aren't opening them, meaning once these quantities go, they want really replenish, and it could be as soon as, you know, the next ban list bringing in Droll to being useful, or way down years and years from now where you would sink money into piles of these and they could go nowhere. But I would say it's just good to have access to a playset of this, especially with how cheap the rare has become. In the number 9 position is the Break-A-Board Workshop Dark Ruler No More. This still only has 4 printings. 2 of them are Structure decks though, and the Charmer Structure deck one went up a lot until the newer printings in the 2022 tens as an ultra and another common, yet all of these are a market price of $2. That means if this falls into popularity, especially in the mainstream formats, you could see this end up really going up. Now this too is format dependent on, you know, the Build-A-Board Workshop being popular and needing to be answered and needing to bust those boards, but it's a very nice card. I would actually spring for the Prismatic Secret Rare, as that specific version's unlikely to get a reprint, even though it's a 10 promo. It was RNG to get that promo, and a lot of people like how it looks, but if you just want access, $2, that's $6 for a playset. You could probably get it for $5 at locals, is pretty nice to pick up. Lightning Storm, this not only breaks boards, it also goes for back row, which is nice, especially with Labyrinth being, you know, popular on the back end of the format, but not taking over or anything right now. It is around a $10 card. It's $9 market price-ish out of Maven's, where its most recent reprint came out, and you also had the Prismatic Secret Rare out of the 2022 10. So it got a double reprint, but managed to hang on to being almost $30 for a playset. I would upgrade to the Secret Rare personally because it looks so nice. It's a higher rarity above, but it's still mid-max. When we're talking, you have a Collector Rare, you have a Starlight Rare, super top-end, high-end versions of this, and then you have a Pharaoh Rare too. So you have very, very mid-max feels, almost low-max, even at Prismatic Secret Rare, but it looks nice, and I could see this going to 20 if it doesn't get a reprint anytime soon. But again, that's really up to Konami and how they want to cash in. They have printed this quite a few times recently. Access Code Talker got a secret rare over in Battles of Legend, coming in at our number 6 position, I believe. Let's see here, 10, 9, 8, 7. This is why I don't do top 10s anymore. But Access Code Talker secret rare is only around 25, where a lot of people thought this would be a solid $40 card. I thought it would likely be 30 to 35. It's actually gone below that, as Battles of Legend has really come down in price, but tons of people chase it after those Starlight rares, and the box, it's chilling under the normal price of a box, which would be like $60, and MSRP's up on the box, so this is kind of failing at the moment. Meaning, not a ton of people want to open them, but they're not the most listings on this either. People aren't flooding the market with these, and I think Access Code Talker is one of those cards that will come into use for play, and you'll want access to him. The gold rare, it's a bit clunkier. I would be double sleeving that version, so I like the secret rare a lot more, and I just think it looks better personally. Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion in number 6 position. It's a pretty good format dependent hand trap as well, but it keeps seeing more formats lately. Like, the longer it's existed, the more often it comes up, it feels like, in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Prismatic Secret Rare version out of the 10s has a $3 market price, but you can get a common for under $1, so you could get 3 commons uncommons for just, you know, around $3, which is pretty awesome. Even cheaper if you're really hunting down the deals. But for the prismatic secret rare, I just like the playset under 10 because it looks super nice. Proportionally, it could go up a lot more, and it already has its Starlight rare, leading this to be argued as the second nicest looking version versus first edition OG, which of course people will also kind of lean towards that at times because it's what they know, it's what they're familiar with. And the number 5 position is Apolosa Bow of the Goddess. Now, this card has come down huge proportionally. We're talking like 5x down, like divided by 5 when we're looking at it. 1/5, I guess, is the term I'm looking for. But the alternate art got an ultra rare in Mavens, and you can see, you can click on the gold rare version. People were paying $24 for this, so maybe it's 6x, but this is around $4, $5 right now, pretty readily available, and I really think that it's a pretty easy pickup in terms of a end board piece that will float back into formats. That's just a really freaking good card. But again, we have other cards on the list, right, that just end up taking care of this card, which is kind of funny. In the number 4 position, we have Triple Tactics Talent. Now, you may look at all these versions and go like, wow, that's a lot of printings. You have a Starlight rare, you have 2 Pharaoh rares here, and then you have the Secret rare, which is a market price of almost $50, and the ultras are slowly going up already here out of Mavens. And then you have the Mega Pack Ultras, which that set is so thirsty for value, 2021 Megatons. But when we're looking at Triple Tactics Talent specifically, people want 3 of these when they have access to them, and it too can feel format dependent. It requires the opponent to do something in order for you to get to pop off, but in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, that is all too often you're going to get to activate this usually. So again, it finds itself in certain formats. It's holding itself at the top of multiple sets. I believe it's at the top of the 2021 10s, maybe alongside Zeus. And then it's towards the top also of Mavens, if I'm not mistaken. Internet loading problems. Yeah, it's in second place over here, and I believe it's towards the top along with Evenly Matched and Mavens. And the number 3 position is Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Now, this card just got a Structure Deck reprint as well as a 10 reprint, just like Ghost Bell. The difference is this Prismatic Secret rare, wow, it is still, even not sure printed, having a market price of near $10, where the new Structure Deck common is at $5, pretty much the cheapest this has ever been. When Soulburner came out, I believe it was around $8, and it skyrocketed from there to being up to a $30 common at one point. So it's basically bargain bin prices for Ash Blossom. A ton of people came in from Master Duel. A lot of people are going to want access to this, and those structure decks will dry up over time, as will Megaton. So the question is, will we get an easy access version of this before we see these quantities dry up? And with how, you know, many Megatons there are in structure decks, I would actually think we might get another one, but also Konami's been known to lay off of reprinting this for a very long time. So at these prices, you know, $15 for a playset, I really wouldn't back off this card. I would want access to it, especially if I didn't already have my playset. In the number 2 position is Infinite Impermanence. Yeah, you notice the trend. It's pretty much all staple-ish or generic-ish. I know it's on the safer side in terms of what I'd be picking up, but the reprint sets have done a great job, and especially with people coming in from Master Duel, these are the kind of cards I would genuinely be going for. Mavens gave us another ultra rare of this, market price at $7. When it got into the structure deck, remember, it put the structure deck up to like $13, $14, and it was $8, and it's still holding in for the structure deck version at almost $6. So yeah, I definitely do think that the ultra rare is a pretty good grab around $7, and you know, $20 for a playset. Definitely a thumbs up for me for what this does in the game. It keeps floating into formats, and while it is a bit format dependent-ish, it really has found itself in so many parts of the game since its inception. And the number one might be a little controversial. Crossout Designator. People once upon a time willingly paid $120 on pre-sale for this ultra, despite me screaming for people not to. And towards its reprint announcement, it was still a $40 card coming down from $60 because it was seeing high play in a metagame. Now again, format format dependent. You need to know what you're going to be hitting, and you also need to deck build around this card, so take that into consideration. But people will want 3 of these, and I hate the argument, but if Max C came off the list, that's not in my considerations for actually bringing this up, even though Master Duel format is right there. I think that this card specifically lends itself to being better in a good player's hands, but once those good players do get results with it in formats where this will appear more often, I think you will see a lot more people grabbing it. But for what people readily paid $40 to $60 for so often, it's now like 1/8, 1/7 that price. And I definitely do think that it's a great pickup, and it's something I would personally be getting. But let me know your thoughts on this list. Is there anything I missed in the generic-ish realm you would have put in here, like evenly matched over some of these cards? Evenly's at a pretty good price point, but I also could see them kind of reprinting it again in a upcoming set. I mean, it was originally slated for a structure deck. They pulled that, but now we're starting to get more printings of it. But I do think it kind of has an honorable mention among this list. And then cheap skill drains out of the most recent Dark World structure deck, also a pretty good honorable mention. Let me know what's missing from the list, and also what you think of it. I think it's playing it very safe, but at the same time, it's a great time to, because these cards, they really haven't been cheaper in a lot of their histories. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. And again, let me know what I missed on here.